Hey there, it's Steve from Serious Keto, and this is the Not So Serious Keto video podcast. So pull up a chair, grab your favorite drink, and let's get started. Now, I realize I had said that this week, in lieu of the podcast, I would have an episode of Pragmatic Keto, which is kind of like a podcast, but only one subject, and I'll incorporate graphics, B-roll, etc. And the plan was that this Monday, today, if you're watching it on Monday, would be on glucose testing. And just a few things came up that made me decide I wanted to push that by a week. For one thing, I wanted to actually do some glucose testing, so I had to get some more strips. I was running low on strips for blood glucose. And then I also wanted to be able to film the application, or the putting on, of the Dexcom G6 sensor onto me so you could see that. And then I also needed to go back through some of my older footage where I had done testing, just so that I could gather that as some B-roll. Long story short, if it's not too late for that, is I didn't feel I could do justice, at least my justice, to that particular topic if I tried to push it and get it out by this week. So fortunately, I'm fasting this week, and my wife is away on vacation with my daughter Courtney, so I've got the whole house to myself. I'm completely undisturbed. I have plenty of time to get stuff done, so I will definitely have that episode of Pragmatic Keto for you next week. Now, part of that episode was going to be me announcing the winners of the Levels Health Program giveaway. I'm not going to make you wait a week for that. I will announce them right now. The winners are Diana Fielder, Rusty Wise, and Jay Armstrong. Now, I have notified all three of these. I've gotten their email addresses and validated who they are, and I have forwarded it. Man, I have a hard time saying that. I passed on their information to Levels, so they should all be hearing from Levels this week, probably the first half of this week. And hopefully in future videos where I do any sort of glucose testing, maybe they'll jump in with some of their results so that we've got some more data points. Anyhow, in terms of giveaways, because I've used the word giveaway in this video a few times and even put it in the title, I suspect that the imposter scam bots will probably reply to any comment that is placed on this video. So this is a good opportunity for you all to see what these scam bots look like. I'm assuming it's going to happen. So, as I've mentioned numerous times before, it's going to look different than my normal reply. So my normal reply has the word serious, keto, and then it's surrounded in either black or gray, depending on what type of device or browser you're on. There's no special characters, there's no weirdness, there's no me telling you to contact me via some third-party app like Telegram Me, or there's some others. But basically, I fully suspect that they will reply to some of your comments, even though there is no giveaway. I want to be very clear about that. There is no giveaway on this video. Now, I will say that YouTube is aware of this problem because it's not Steve specific. It's not Serious Keto specific. It is site-wide. And a video was sent out to content creators explaining how they're trying to start to fix this. They're looking for things like special characters and limiting the number of special characters in any username. So people putting in emojis or weird letter symbols that just don't make sense, like using a $sign for the S in Serious Keto, for example, would be an example. Did I just say example twice? Anyhow, they are supposed to be working on this. However, I don't know how well it's going because that particular video and announcement came out before the Levels giveaway, and I had an imposter try and scam some of my viewers on that. So just be mindful, it's coming. In terms of other things that are coming, I will be doing another giveaway in August. Probably some product from Aviate, some Lupini product. Now, if you've watched any of my videos where I'm using Aviate product, you know that I love their Lupini flour and Lupini flakes. It's great stuff. They use beans from Spain, and they're like super low carb or super low net carb. They're also not as bitter as some of the beans that I've had or some of the flours that I've had. So to me, they are the hands down favorite when it comes to lupin flour or Lupini flour and flakes. And they have, I believe, 4 new products coming out. I'm sworn to secrecy. I can't tell you what they are. I will be doing a review of a couple of them in August, probably in conjunction with this giveaway. But that's all I can say right now. It's good. I've beta tested one of their products and it's good. And they've got another one coming out that I haven't seen anybody do yet in the keto realm, or at least do well. So my fingers are crossed, but that's probably going to be the giveaway in August. So be prepared for that. If things push, if there's some weird supply chain thing, I'll do my own giveaway. I'll give away some stuff from my secret stash. I do actually have a fair amount of the lupini flour and flakes, and I'm getting to have almost way too much keto chow. I made 5 quarts of keto chow ice cream yesterday. I'm trying to use up packets of keto chow, but one way or the other, I think I'll probably be doing a keto chow giveaway within the next couple of months as well. So sort of a segue in terms of talking about keto brands or low-carb brands or sponsorships or partners or things like that. I get a lot of questions about why don't you work with such and such? And there's usually a few different reasons. Reason number one could be they haven't contacted me. Like, I don't generally go out and actively try and seek sponsorships or promos or anything like that. Most of the time it happens just because people come to me, and most of the time I say no, because most of the time I just don't feel that it's a product that really aligns with this channel, or it's a product I wouldn't buy myself. Those are my 2 big criteria. If it doesn't align with the channel and it's not something I'd buy myself, then no interest. The other thing, though, is some of these companies, just in the brief interaction that I'll have with them, they'll say, "Can I send you some product for review or to try out? I just want your honest opinion." And I think a lot of times they don't want my honest opinion. I think what they want is for me to do a video saying, "Hey, I tried this product. It's great." One of these was it was a ketone drink that I tried out, and it didn't taste good, and it was crazy expensive. And I went back and I said, "Hey, I'm sorry. As a courtesy to you, because it was a startup, and I tend to have a soft spot for startups. If this were a big company, if this would have been like Perfect Keto, yeah, I totally would have given the review and said, yeah, this is trash, and it tastes bitter, and it's expensive. Don't buy it." But this was a little startup. This was their one product, and I didn't want to just crush their dreams. But I said to them, I said, "Listen, it tastes very medicinal to me, and I think the price is way out of line. I don't think any of my viewers are going to buy it. So I'm going to just respectfully decline." And they got kind of pissy with me. And that then, if you're looking to end a relationship quickly with me, that's the way to do it. Be a jerk, and it's over. Be a jerk to me, be a jerk to my viewers, we're done. So that's another reason why I don't do business with some companies. The final thing, and this is something that is very important to me, is customer service. So I have had probably 1 or 2 companies that I had done business with and gotten some really bad customer service feedback from my viewers, and I went to the company and they didn't take care of it, and they were a little bit snotty about it, and that was it. I was done with them. I have other companies that just bend over backwards for customers. Perfect Keto does. There have been a couple of instances where I've had to step in because of some confusion in the communication between Perfect Keto and the customer, but ultimately it was resolved to their satisfaction. I hear nothing but great stuff about Chipmunk Baking and Chalk Zero and their customer service, and that's why you continue to see me do reviews of their products, even though, like you're going to find this week when I do a review of Chalk Zero, I don't love all of their stuff, but I'm honest with you, I'm honest with them, and I think that I guess becomes the 4th and final criteria for people that I do business with, is they need to be accepting of my honest feedback and be willing to subject themselves to an honest review. And so far, everybody has. So that is the answer to, if you insert, "Steve, why don't you do business with X?" it's one of those 4 answers. And with that, we'll take a brief little ad break. Now, as we get into this second part of this podcast, I'm looking at a couple of my topics down here on my list, and I'm wondering if, I once had a coworker. He was a bit of a mentor to me, and I had asked him, is this something I should send out broadly in an email? And he said, if you ever have to ask yourself if it's appropriate, it probably isn't. And there are a couple of topics I'm going to bring up that might make you like me a little bit less. I don't know. We'll see. And I had debated whether or not to do them just for that very reason. But then there's the other side of me, which has always been completely honest and transparent with all of you. And that side wins out. So I want to talk about a little labeling thing, and this may come off as hypocritical because I tend to use the terms like keto police and ingredient police. And there are a certain group of my followers, subscribers that agree with that these people tend to come off very much like bullies. They're not coming off as advisors. They're not here to help. That's how I distinguish police, keto police, and ingredient police versus an advisor. An advisor is someone that comes and shares their experience and they want to be helpful and they want to give you some guidance. In my opinion, keto police and ingredient police just want to be a bully. They want to be right, they want you to be wrong, and they want you to know that they're right and you're wrong. So I'm probably going to keep using those terms, even though some of you don't like those terms. But I want you to make sure that you understand that if you ever leave a comment and it's a helpful advising comment, like, are you aware that this ingredient causes inflammation in some people? To me, that's not ingredient police. That's a data point. That's information. But coming in and saying, erythritol is poison, it's worse than the Holocaust, you shouldn't eat sweeteners, grow up, or something like that. I've had comments not unlike that. But that to me that's not helpful. That's one of the keto police or ingredient police. So hopefully I've clarified that, because here's where I could see some accusations of me being hypocritical are. A term I don't like and won't use is keto Karen. And I've seen some people use that term in the comments. And the reason is I feel like it gets almost too personal, especially, well, specifically if your name is Karen. Like, think about this. Your name is Karen, and you're a perfectly nice person. You are not the stereotypical Karen. You're just Karen, the nice Karen that everybody likes, and you're pleasant, and you go to bed one night as Karen, and you wake up as an insult. Now you are Karen, the meme, the pointing the finger, middle-aged, entitled, white woman Karen person. That's gotta suck. I mean, like, if I went to bed one night and I woke up and suddenly the name Steve was just synonymous with, jerk or a-hole or whatever, that wouldn't be fun. It wouldn't be fun anymore being Keto Steve if it's an insult. I mean, like, think about names, and not often does a name get wrecked so hard. Like Adolf, that got wrecked pretty hard back in the 40s. Like, nobody's named Adolf anymore, but yeah, I kind of, the whole Karen thing, I'm not going to call anyone a Karen because I feel bad about that. And hopefully I can convince, that was weird. Did a light just, oh, my background light just went off. That was weird. I saw it over on my camera here. I probably should have checked the batteries on that. That's my little back wall emphasis light. Oh well. Totally lost my train of thought there. Oh, what I'm saying is I'm not going to call anyone a keto Karen. I hope that you won't call anyone a keto Karen. I will probably still continue to call some people the keto police or ingredient police, just so you know. Anyhow, hopefully that doesn't totally besmirch your opinion of me. If it doesn't, maybe the next part will. I had mentioned a couple of times, I think during podcasts, that I had read the book Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. So this guy is one of the most badass human beings in terms of just being able to subject his body to mind over matter, or mind over body, whatever you want to call it. He's no stranger to F-bombs. So if you decide to read his book, be prepared for that. There is, however, on Amazon a clean version that's probably 20% shorter, just once you remove the language. But he talks about different strategies that you can use to give yourself strength, to push on, to push through things. One is a positive thing. It's the cookie jar. He says you got to create your cookie jar of things that you've achieved in the past, accomplishments that you've done, so that when you're struggling through something, you can go to the cookie jar and say, "Oh, I remember the time when I, lost 75 pounds," or whatever. It could be something way smaller than that. It could be, you're in the middle of a fasting week and hey, I made it 100 hours before, I can do it again. But it's a positive reinforcement based on your history. It's you proving to yourself in the moment, in that tough moment, that you've been through tough moments before and made it through and been successful. He also has another thing, and I forget what he called it. I don't think it was called cookie jar or anything like that, but it was about taking bad memories or people that have done you wrong and remembering them. And, while this may not be the most sort of Christian approach, sometimes you do need, or sometimes I do need, especially if I'm doing some sort of very physical training, strength training, etc., kind of go to a dark place, to bang out those last couple of reps. And the dark place that I go to is high school and junior high, middle school. I was bullied a lot, picked on a lot, some of it overtly, some of it more passive, but it was daily. And I had a lot of sick days back in grade school, middle school, high school, because I was afraid. I was afraid to go to school. I was afraid of the bullying or beating that I was going to take on any given day. And and I was also not treated very nicely by the girls either. The expression of contempt is supposedly like the worst expression that you can show, and I got that a lot. I was not popular with the girls, so let's just say that. And there was a point in high school where it was drama 3 and drama 4, which meant you were a teacher's aide for drama 1 and drama 2. And there was this girl that she and I were the two teachers' aides. She was just super cute, petite, blonde, bubbly, super fun, cheerleader. And when we were in that class together, it felt almost like boyfriend and girlfriend. We had such a playful banter. We got along so great. We were like just best buds. And then when we'd walk out of that class after 45 minutes and she would get around her popular friends, suddenly I was disgusting, like, ugh. And her friends would make fun of her for even, being in the class with me. They're like, "Oh, I wonder if you're going to have to do a stage kiss with Steve." Ooh. That sort of thing. So wasn't treated real well by the guys, wasn't treated real well by the girls. And as a result, I've had no real desire to go to any of my high school reunions. However, I did get out onto the Facebook page of, it's my class, the class of '86, and they had a reunion, like a 35th anniversary reunion at some bar in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And I'm looking at these pictures, and this is going to sound pretty petty. I hope it doesn't sound like fat shaming, because I'm not fat shaming. But as I looked at all of these former classmates, the former studs and athletes and cheerleaders, it really made me feel good about myself. The guys, and there's not an issue with baldness, but most of the guys are bald. I'm still rocking a pretty good head of hair here. Kind of felt good about that. Everybody was varying degrees of overweight or obesity. And again, I'm not fat shaming, because that was me a handful of years ago. I'm grateful that my life took a different path. That I'm not hanging out in a bar in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, 75, 80, 100 pounds overweight, reliving my glory days on the high school football team. It's fun seeing the bullies that used to pick on you now just look pathetic. And yeah, I'm sorry if that's a dark side of me that you're seeing now, but it is actually kind of a bit of a motivator, because it reminds me that I made the right decision going keto. I made the right decision stopping drinking. I've made a number of right decisions over the last few years that have put me in a place where I feel a lot better about myself, where I feel like, hey, maybe I will go to that 40th anniversary reunion because I know I'm going to walk into that thing a very different person than the person who graduated in 1986. So I don't know. If you're ever looking to have a little motivation and looking to see how far you've come versus perhaps some peers, with your keto and health journey, get out on the Facebook. Look up some former classmates, ex-boyfriends, ex-girlfriends. Might just cheer you up. For the final segment of the podcast, I want to talk about the dentist. I've discovered since going keto that going to the doctor is sort of a mixed bag. I go to the doctor, I have my physical, the doctor says, wow, you look great, you're a perfect specimen. I don't know if he said that exactly, but that's what I hear in my brain. And then we get the lipid panel, and he's like having his nurse call me, we got to get you on a statin right away, you're going to have a stroke or something. And, then I just kind of ignore them for a year and come back. And again, they say, hey, you look great and all that. So the doctor thing, I don't love so much. But the dentist, since going keto, and I'd love to hear if you've had a similar experience. I go to the dentist, and the first thing that happens, the oral hygienist, she's like done in minutes. She gets done. Lots of times they'll show me the gauze pad that they use to scrape. No, it's like almost clean. And she'll say, this was the easiest cleaning I've ever had to do. She's like, you are my number one favorite patient. This is so great. And she went on to tell me that, and I don't know if this is the case with all oral hygienists. If any of you out there are oral hygienists, you can let me know if this is the case for you as well. But she said she knows which are her good teeth patients and which are her disgusting teeth patients. And what she will try and do is schedule me on one of the days where she's got somebody that's just going to be a mess, in the mouth, just cleaning up, because it balances her day. That's kind of cool to find out that you're that person that makes somebody's day better. And I made it just by doing keto. Because, and I know this, I talked to the dentist and I said, tell me, do you know like which patients do keto and which patients don't? And he said, yeah, absolutely. It's like the teeth on the keto patients are just great. He said, if everybody did keto, I would be out of business. That's a pretty big statement right there. He's like, yeah, just all of this stuff, the starches, the sugars, the grains, etc. You're coating your teeth with, stuff, and it's, I'm sure he said something far more intelligent than that, but basically I was just sort of bathing in the, yeah, keto is great. And then they're like, oh, hey, our receptionist also does keto. And I said, well, you should probably start watching my channel then, because it's awesome in my brain. Let's see, do I have anything else to cover before we end? Probably just want to mention again, this week I'm fasting all this week. It started Friday night after dinner. So as I'm recording this on Sunday morning, I am, let's see, is that 36, probably 38 hours into the fast. And by the time you see this, I'm sure it'll be 60 or more hours into the fast. And when I first did a fast, I think I did, 24 hours. Maybe I did probably intermittent fasting first. And then, can I go 24? Can I go 48, etc. It's strange that those numbers that once seemed very big to me don't seem all that big to me anymore. And I'm really excited about this week and this extended fast. And I'm doing a lot of data collection. I'm tracking all of my electrolytes. I'm keeping a diary on it. I think I'm going to be able to share a lot of experience with you next week based on how this fast went and, lessons learned, et cetera, et cetera. I also am looking forward to some of the productivity that I'll be having this week, including working on the pragmatic keto video and starting to work on some material for my other channel, Lean Body Mind, which has been largely stagnant for the past year. Just life has been busy. But Oh, there was something else. I really felt that this was going someplace. Oh, where this isn't going though is cooking videos. So next week is going to be sort of a tough putt potentially for cooking videos because I pre-recorded the review video. It's going to have Courtney, and I think I mentioned Chalk Zero. And then I've got another sort of grilling, steak saucy sort of video coming this Friday that I still need to edit and put together. But that means that when the weekend rolls around, you see, I'm not sure how, when I ease out of this fast, how quickly I'm going to be able to ease out of this fast and what it's going to result in terms of next week's video schedule, aside from pragmatic keto. I kind of feel like I rambled an awful lot there, but I hope you forgive me if you're still sticking around. You probably are, because you're good people. I appreciate you. Thanks for watching.